Mr. O'Halloran is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman Pallone. I'm thrilled to see the Tribal Power Act bipartisan legislation I introduced with Congressman Mullen receive the full Energy and Commerce Committee's consideration. I have the pleasure of representing 12 Native American tribes. I believe this bill takes critical steps to ensure tribal governments throughout the resources and assistance upon request from the Department of Energy's Office of Indian Energy to advise their sovereign energy development goals. First, the Tribal Power Act reauthorizes and increases funding for the Department's Indian Energy Education Planning and Management Assistance Program. This will ensure the program has long-term sustainability as it carries out its consultation, technical assistance, and grant-making duties for consulting tribes. By doing so, tribes may develop innovative electrification programs on tribal lands, including those promoting energy efficiency and conservation. Second, the bill allows the Office of Indian Energy to reduce cost share requirements when applicable for tribes. This is especially important today as COVID-19 has continued to devastate governments throughout Indian country. Economic hardship should not be a barrier for any tribe to seek to develop their energy security goals. Lastly, the bill requires the department to take a comprehensive look at the lack of electrification on tribal lands by closely partnering with tribes on a whole of government analysis of barriers to tribal electrification. Congress can then take swift action to correct this injustice. During last week's Energy and Commerce Committee, and I thank the chairman again for holding that committee, in Indian country, the Tribal Power Act was mentioned on several occasions. This nationwide energy electrification began in the 1930s. Today, as many as 15,000 families on the Navajo Nation alone in my district lack access to any electricity. Thankfully, a public-private partnership named Light Up Navajo between the Navajo Tribal Utility Authority and members of the American Public Power Association have helped correct over 200 Navajo families to reliable electrification. I hope with today's passage of the Tribal Power Act, more tribal families can be provided with the critical electric infrastructure they need to heat or cool their homes, connect to broadband, and improve their quality of life. I urge my colleagues to swiftly pass this legislation, and I yield back. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. O'Halloran. Does any other member seek recognition? If not, I'm just going to recognize myself for a minute. I want to thank Representatives O'Halloran and Mullen for introducing this bill. As we heard from our witnesses at last week's hearing, there are significant problems for tribal communities with respect to energy affordability and access. This bill won't correct every energy problem faced by tribal communities, but it makes a start by improving the program that was authorized to address their problems. DOE must do more to make energy affordable and accessible for all members of tribal communities, and I hope we'll be able to do more to reduce disparities and fulfill our commitments to tribes.